Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the program. And this is the LitecoinLeader channel, and we are going to be talking about predicting the future and the ETF. I want to say that ahead of time, so there's no clickbait here. But I want to say that I'm going to be talking about a few different things today, and I'm going to ask for one small favor in a moment. But first, please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. But I'm going to ask this more importantly. Please like and subscribe and follow Economic Preppers on YouTube. We are trying hard to get up to 1,000 members. We're about 300 now, and we're growing, and we appreciate that. And we've done really good videos, and I'm going to share the latest one up here. It was a great interview with Alan Staple from the Staple Crew. And again, if you want to have content like this and conversations beyond just crypto and how the whole economy is going, how things are looking, how things are coming together, really subscribe to Dylan and Patrick and myself. We want to go live. We want to start doing that on YouTube, but we need 1,000 subscribers to do it. So if you can help us out, it's free, helps us out. We really appreciate it. Now, first off, happy 4th of July weekend. I know a lot of people are taking the time this weekend to spend with their family, their friends, their loved ones. There's a lot of traveling going on despite rising gas prices, but enjoy the weekend. But I want to give you this warning. I've seen news happen already. I've said this before. The powers that be like to slip news in on Friday nights or basically when people aren't looking. Okay. So they slipped one thing, like I think there was a story about blocking out the sun from the US, which is crazy. I put that up on the Economic Preppers Telegram this morning. Reminded me of the Simpsons episode where Mr. Burns actually did that. Once again, reference to the Simpsons of predicting the future. But they are going to put out news probably throughout this weekend that you're not going to see or notice because you're having barbecues and watching fireworks. And well, I will attempt to give you as much information, and so will Patrick and Dylan, as much as possible. My Twitter is available over on Economic Preppers as well. You got JPinnacle2, or my real name, over on Economic Preppers. You got me there. But there's lots coming. So, but before I get into all that, let's talk about the story that's been out Friday that drove Bitcoin prices up and down like a yo-yo, which was about the ETF. Okay, now there's been several ETF stories. There was a spot ETF discussion on Friday. There was a futures ETF that came out about a week ago, or maybe even not that long ago. All these big companies are getting involved. Let me explain what's going on. Okay, first off, the big money wants to come in. They realize that the stock market's not going to last forever. All the real estate's crumbling. We've seen I share this on Twitter as well, and so is Patrick, that Airbnb values are dropping 40, 50% in rent across the country. So the last salvation of wealth savings in real estate, that's starting to go down. All right, they're starting to see signs of it. We've had the mortgage rates go up. We have commercial real estate issues. All those issues are leading the big boys to sell out of the market, out of the real estate, and get into things like Bitcoin. Finally, ETFs provide this. So the first one was the futures ETF, which was a double ETF. So that's a bet on Bitcoin. That is not actually buying Bitcoin. The real one, the one that everyone's chasing, is the spot ETF. Now, I believe it was BlackRock. Don't quote me on that, but I know that came out that maybe it wasn't BlackRock, but there was another attempt at, and I think it was BlackRock. But anyway, there was a spot ETF that came out or attempted to come out on Friday and was denied by the SEC. So that drove the price down on Friday. That was one of the reasons that came down. Also, it's the end of a quarter, options expiring, all that, heading into a holiday weekend, lots of reasons to sell. But as soon as it dipped below 30,000, people bought right back up. So that's another issue, is that the price of Bitcoin in terms of dollars is really hard to understand because the value of the dollar is declining so rapidly. We've lost probably 25 to 50% of the value of the dollar on average in the last 2 or 3 years, which is way beyond what they expect. That's a sign of the end of the fiat currency. It's inevitable. We've seen prices. A lot of prices have doubled. Gas is another one. Food, but the essentials that everybody has to buy, that's doubling in price. Whereas the luxury items are going down. It's an average around 50% increase in the last couple of years, which is way beyond the inflation target that they claim, which inflation is a form of taxation, which is a form of theft of your value. So the ETF, this spot ETF is going to be big for Bitcoin, and that's what the Bitcoiners really want. And that's what cryptocurrency people really want, because this spot ETF means that they're actually buying Bitcoin. Futures ETFs or other ETFs are tracking stocks. They're not actually buying Bitcoin. A spot ETF actually buys the underlying asset. That means that the big money would actually have a way to buy Bitcoin. Right now, big boys can't buy Bitcoin because they're not allowed because of their investment rules. For example, let's just say Vanguard. Vanguard is a very big mutual fund, huge company. They own like 10% of everything. They can't buy Bitcoin directly because they are too big to get invested into Bitcoin, because they have a certain criteria based on the way they have to invest to comply with all the crazy rules of the SEC, that they have to have certain minimum requirements of how much they would buy. And if they did that with Bitcoin directly, they would own too much of Bitcoin. They would have a controlling interest, and that's not allowed for a company like Vanguard. That's why they want ETFs. Also, ETFs are a vehicle for 401ks, retirement plans, pensions. All these big funds now have a way to get into Bitcoin. And then having a spot ETF, which the SEC really has been stomping on for years, that will drive the price of Bitcoin up, because now you have big money coming into a spot ETF, and the spot ETF must buy the Bitcoin. So therefore, the price will go up. Now, there's other ways that they can manipulate the price. And this is like the big boys. They want to keep the price of Bitcoin down so they can get in and buy. So as soon as that spot ETF comes out, you're going to see probably the price of Bitcoin spike. But then they'll probably, this is where I'm predicting the future, okay? I can predict the big picture of the future. I can't predict what's going to happen next week, but I can predict what's probably going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. I know Bitcoin is going to be well over $100,000 probably in the next 2 years, because, well, in the next 5 years, let's start 5 years from now. 5 years from now, the supply of Bitcoin will be 25%. The production will be 25% of what it is today, because there's a halvening coming in less than a year, and then 4 years later, there's another one. So right now, 900 Bitcoin get made every day right now by the miners, and that's the block rewards. Every 10 minutes, block reward is given out. I think it's 900. I think it's like 6 1/4 every 10 minutes. That's going to be cut down to 3 3 1/8, and then it'll be down to like 1 9/16 of a Bitcoin in 5 years. So it's going to go from 900 a day, easier numbers to think of, 900 Bitcoin produced a day, down to 225 a day 5 years from now. So supply demand, the price will probably be at least 4 times what it is today in 5 years, probably more. So if it's just say conservatively, let's say we go back to $50,000, we're looking at $200,000 Bitcoin in 5 years, and you could buy it today for $30,000. The question then becomes, in 5 years, what is the difference of purchasing power of $30,000 today versus $200,000 in the future? I can't tell that. Odds are it's not going to be great for the dollar, and we may not even be pricing Bitcoin in terms of dollar, because a price is a ratio of two things: the asset and the vehicle of pricing. So I could price Bitcoin in gold. That probably will be a better way to do it, or silver, or another asset, because the dollar is eroding in value. We may not use the euro. We may use a different world currency that's backed by gold that could be announced in August at the BRICS meeting in Durban, South Africa, that's coming up, that we're keeping an eye on over at EconomicPreppers. Again, videos are up there. Lots of good content comes out. We do video on EconomicPreppers. We do a video every week that comes out. I think it's Friday or Saturday. It comes out every week. Usually a week in review or a lengthy interview that we do. But we put out periodic videos too. So and it's beyond just crypto. So if you want to see how crypto fits into the big picture, which is really hard to understand, and we try to simplify it as best we can, please join us over at EconomicPreppers. It's really probably our #1 goal in the next few weeks, so we can go live. Dylan's coming out in the next couple of weeks with to meet with Patrick and myself out here in Oregon. We're going to be shooting a lot of videos, and we want to be able to go live while he's here. But I don't know if we'll be able to on YouTube. We'll probably try it. We may try it on Rumble or BitChute, but we want to increase our audience because we have the Silver Symposium, which is now going to be the Silver and Sound Money Symposium at the end of September. Details on that are usually in the description. It's definitely in the description of Economic Preppers. Great. If you're looking for an event to attend to get with like-minded people, over 2,000 people are expected to be there. Lots of vendors, lots of presenters. It's in Las Vegas. It's at the end of September. Tickets are only $89 if you use our link. $99 is the full price. And you're not going to find a better venue to meet people that think the way that we do. And if you've never been to an event like that, you're really going to enjoy it. And if you've been to one before, this is going to be a big one. So we really hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun over the course of 3 days. And, Patrick and I will probably be beyond the 3 days because we have to do things too. In any event, getting back to predicting the future, 5 years from now, Bitcoin is going to be very, very expensive. Okay. It's going to be hard to get. It's going to be hard to even get a full Bitcoin. So that's why the next 5 years is important in the race to acquire Bitcoin. Part of that is the spot ETF, and that's where big money is going to come in, which is going to make it the average person, make it much harder for you to acquire Bitcoin. That's why we at Economic Preppers also offer services to get Bitcoin and help you get it, because what's been happening, what's called choke point 2.0 is out there, which is they're cutting off a lot of different ways to get Bitcoin, right? It's very hard to get Bitcoin because a lot of your, or spend Bitcoin because they cut up all the cards. They've the cards that the Litecoin card, the crypto.com might still work. I think that's the only one I think that still works. I'm not sure why, but the BitPay card, the Litecoin card, all the crypto cards that we normally use are going by the wayside because the US is shutting off the banks that are working with crypto. They want only the big boys to be able to buy their Bitcoin. That's what's happening right now. And that's part of the future. They want the big money to have the opportunity now to get into Bitcoin, and they want to keep that price as low as possible as they acquire it and use those dirty green pieces of paper and dump these things for real assets. Okay. So that's what's really going on. And again, just to wrap up, predicting the future, the short term is very difficult to predict. The long term is not. By 2025, a year and a half from now, I think we're going to be in cleanup mode for a lot of different reasons, for finances and a lot of other things in the US and in the Western world. It's just going to happen that way. But we have a year and a half to get there. So there's going to be a lot of turmoil and uncertainty for the next year and a half. That's why you need channels like this and over at Economic Preppers, so we can tell you what's going on, keep you informed, so you're prepared, not scared. But the price of Bitcoin is going to go up and down because volatility, not just in Bitcoin, but really in the dollar or the euro or the Dixie or the measurement of the dollar, because things in the world are changing. They're changing rapidly. So you need to know how to get Bitcoin, how to store it safely. And that's what we're going to teach you over at Economic Preppers. But predicting the price next week, I think the price is probably going to go, as soon as this ETF gets launched, which we've been asking about for years when it's going to happen, the price is going to go up. No question. The price of Bitcoin will go up because the ETF must buy the asset. They will be buying Bitcoin. But I fully expect, this is a prediction, not necessarily saying what's absolutely going to happen and the sequence is going to happen, but they're going to put out some kind of story or some kind of issue to drive the price of Bitcoin back down. So the big boys will come in, they will buy it through the ETF, and they'll drive the price down, and then they'll snap it up again on the downside, and they'll shake out the weak hands, shake out the people that are like, well, Bitcoin's going down, I'm going to sell it again, and the big boys will get it. Don't let that happen. Get your Bitcoin either through us or some other means. There's lots of different ways to get Bitcoin, but if you don't know how to do it, here's the number right down here below, or drop me a note, join my Patreon and drop me an email there. Lots of ways to get a hold of me, but leave a comment down below. But most of all, please join Economic Preppers. Please get a friend to join Economic Preppers. If you have 5 YouTube accounts, have them all join Economic Preppers, because we're trying to get to that 1,000 member number, because it's not just a milestone, but it affords us the ability to go live on YouTube, which we want to do because we want to go live and we want to interact with you guys and have a live conversation with myself, Patrick, Dylan, whoever's available that evening. And we can have a little fireside chat and you can ask questions live about what's really going on, and we can do it on multiple platforms. So enjoy your holiday. Enjoy the weekend. If you see any news, let me know about it. I would love to. We could join our free telegrams as well. But if you don't, look for things that might be slipping through the carpet, that might pop up on your phone or might just be out there. But most of all, enjoy your friends and family. That's the most important thing in life right now. Enjoy your time. Happy Independence Day. Happy July 4th. And I will see you soon. Take care.